impact study for the proposed 6.5-acre deck park over I-10. According to the foundation, the proposed project would generate nearly $1 billion over 30 years in economic returns for the El Paso region. The study also revealing the proposed project would generate significant returns for the community, including new jobs, expanded opportunities for local businesses, and affordable housing. And joining us now is Tracy Yellen, the CEO of the Paso Del Norte Community Foundation. Ms. Yellen is also the board chair for the Downtown Deck Plaza Foundation. Ms. Yellen, thank you so much for being with us here today. Provide us a little more insight. Tell us about this economic impact study, how you got to that $1 billion number, and why the foundation supports this project and why it's a need in our community.
Yeah. Andy, thank you so much for having me on tonight and sharing the results of the economic impact study. The community may remember a few years ago we worked with the city of El Paso. They got a grant from the federal U.S. Department of Transportation to do a feasibility study to develop a 6.5-acre park over downtown, or over I-10 in the downtown corridor. And some of the feedback that we got from the community was to really understand what the economic impact of the project would be as well. And so we engaged a firm called HR&A Associates. The study is on the website downtowndeckplazafoundation.org, and it really uncovered kind of the value of these green spaces to communities. Not only what it's done in other cities, and we've pointed to these studies and the impacts of these parks in other cities like Dallas, like Phoenix, like Boston, like Chicago, but what it would do here. And so that $1 billion number is composed of short-term jobs in construction for building the deck itself, but also long-term jobs, over 300 jobs that would be created as a result not just of employment opportunities supporting the park itself, but supporting the greater surrounding area for small businesses and the addition of really important amenities, particularly in the downtown core, of additional affordable housing for residents of our community.
And Ms. Yellen, the proposed project has been met with some pushback, namely the cost of the project and who would ultimately pay for it. What is, from where we're standing right now, what is the overall cost of the Downtown Deck Plaza project, and how would this be funded? And is there an expectation that residents would be at least on the hook for some of that cost?
Yeah, great question. So according to the feasibility study, the current estimate for the cost of the project is $207 million in 2027 dollars, and that includes all the amenities, the deck structure, the cap, and then the amenities on top. An amphitheater for events like Neon Desert and Music Under the Stars. There's a field house and sports courts that could host volleyball tournaments, soccer play, a mercado where you could really have opportunities for small businesses. This is going to be a highly activated and programmed space. We're here right now at San Jacinto Plaza, which I love to come to visit. It's busy all the time. There are families that come, people take quinceañera photos. There's someone not far from here who's looking at their graduation, gown, cap and gown, and taking those pictures. It's activated during festivals. We need greater spaces like that in this community. Parks are among our most beloved spaces, and so this is, really a highly programmed quality of life amenity. So, $207 million, not inexpensive, and it's going to take us many phases to get this project done. That's happened in other communities where they've built parks and then now they expand them. So Clyde Warren, 5.5 acres in downtown Dallas, they're now expanding that park. They've started phase 1 of Halperin Park near the zoo in Dallas. That's the second deck park. It will also have an expansion. So we're looking at phases. What the current phase now is really getting the funding for design, and we're so grateful to the state legislature, Senator Blanco and the delegation, for securing $10 million towards the design of the cap structure. We're working on grant applications to TxDOT and others to secure that other $10 million so that we have a full sense of the 100% design total cost. We are applying for other resources. Philanthropy has committed $35 million at least to support the project as well, and we'll pursue other state and federal sources. You know, I don't want to say that we'll never have resources invested from our community, but our goal is to secure as many resources externally to, you know, really, we're very sensitive to the concern around tax burden. We're very grateful to the city and the county for the efforts that they're making to support the project, the El Paso Metropolitan Planning Organization. I think if we all work together, we can make this happen. And it's, you know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. We will take this in phases.
And Ms. Yellen, there's also some concerns with the proposed project's footprint. It would appear that there's buildings, there's some areas that would essentially need to be removed in order to make space for a deck park. What would need to go, and how are you addressing some of those concerns?
Yeah, great question. So the work that TxDOT is doing to add a lane in the downtown area would affect the current properties. Yesterday they had a public meeting. They're doing an economic impact study. The deck park can go on whatever footprint TxDOT offers. So the taking of properties is not being driven by the park itself. It's being driven by the roadway work. So, you know, that's a great question to talk to TxDOT more about, to understand why they may need to work with property owners along kind of the trench of downtown, which is between Santa Fe and Kansas. So essentially, the way we understand the roadway work is you have 4 lanes in either direction, and as you come down into downtown, you have 3 lanes on either side. Those 3 lanes on either side are surrounded, bounded by retaining walls that are sloped. TxDOT is looking to straighten out those retaining walls in order to add that additional lane, so it's even. If the 4 lanes on either side, it would be even on either side. They, I understand, are concerned about impacting the integrity of some of those buildings along that one retaining wall. What's so important, so you know, regardless of whatever TxDOT does, if they don't move the footprint, if they move the footprint, we can build a deck, and we would just work with them to do that. The value of doing the deck right now is in that work with the retaining walls. As they straighten those out, they can make them more sturdy in order to hold the weight of the deck, and then that essentially then allows us to reconnect the kind of downtown El Paso with the neighborhoods north of downtown to reconnect what used to be connected in the downtown area.
And I know a lot of residents have told us that they feel like they've seen a similar story to this before. I'm talking about the downtown arena that was ultimately nixed and had voter support. Is a Downtown Deck Plaza, is this realistic for El Paso? And why is a revitalized downtown, why is that important?
Yeah, you know, I think this is an important project because of this once-in-a-generation opportunity to reconnect downtown and the neighborhoods north of downtown. It also creates a regional amenity that everyone will be able to enjoy. Again, it will be a highly programmed space. When you add green space in areas that are highly concreted, you reduce the temperature. With all of that green space, you lower greenhouse gases. So that has been proven in other places. Clyde Warren Park is Dallas is the #1 destination for tourists in the city of Dallas. This would be not only a benefit to the greater downtown and a building upon really this wonderful expansion of this beautiful city, but a place for everyone to enjoy. And I think of, you know, young people wanting to go to a neon desert. For so many of us who used to go and enjoy music under stars, there will be a lot of free programming available to everybody, you know, all during the day and early evenings, on the weekends. I think it's just going to be an essential component to the future of our community. It's ambitious, for sure, and we've had such positive feedback from young people and families. Also, this need for additional affordable housing in the center of our community, a rebuilding of a population. You know, the Uptown Downtown plan that the city did shows a pent-up demand for 10,000 housing units in the greater downtown area. That helps us repopulate school districts like EPISD, which is really important to their economic stability. So again, this is a net positive project project from an economic development standpoint certainly will be incredibly positive from a quality of life standpoint, and it's just, you know, something that won't be easy to accomplish, and it's going to take all of us, and just really looking forward to, you know, every step of the way.
Ms. Yellen, thank you so much for the information and joining us on the program here today. We certainly do appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Andy. Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.